Bushwick, Brooklyn, a neighborhood full of vibrancy, color, and culture. But not today. Today, there's only one color that we're seeing, and it's blue, because he died. Dick Cheney passed away last night. Can I get your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's sad. I think all lives are precious, and I was sad to see that because it's a human life.
And he was a great businessman.
He was a great businessman. He was handsome.
Dick Cheney passed away. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I guess rest in peace to Dick Cheney. He was a legend to society. Yeah, he's going to be missed.
Can I get your reaction to the news of Dick Cheney's passing?
It's very sad, honestly. I didn't know what to expect. It kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, honestly. This morning, just the sky was a little grayer, and candy just doesn't taste as sweet anymore.
I'm just so sad. I don't know how I can go on like this. I dressed up to commemorate his death, and I still feel just like...
And you have autism.
What's wrong with that? I'm passionate about stuff. I don't wish you would do anything.
I can't control you.
Welcome to Recine Time, everybody. You guys know me. I'm not an athlete. Never been an athlete. I don't really talk about sports, but I'm gonna talk about sports today. You know, it was fun in high school going to like a pep rally or something, and I was never like a sports guy, but I like I really enjoy like the details of it. It's kind of like war when you think about it. It's like you got your players. We need XYZ. This guy's good at this. This guy's good at that. You know, it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons for people who have less sex than the people who play Dungeons and Dragons, because we know all those nerds are definitely being,
in their furry costumes,
in their furry
costumes
costumes,
on the Patreon,
being intimate with each other. And now we did discuss this on the Patreon, but I do want to bring it up again because you told me last week, I found out this thing about furries, and apparently the tail is a butt plug. And my first thought was, how does it stay in? Because that would be very embarrassing. You're at the furry parties and your tail falls out. Imagine getting bullied at the furry party because somebody pulls your tail out and you go, I'm never going back. I'm never coming back here. So yeah, I don't know. And then do you think anybody like becomes a furry? Because I guess people become furries because we all watched like sexy animals. Yeah, we all watched like The Little Mermaid and we saw Sebastian and we were all turned on by him. No, I think it's like Lola Bunny. You ever see Space Jam? There's like a really hot bunny in Space Jam, a really hot girl bunny. This is the sports episode, everyone. We're talking about cartoons that we jacked off to.
Isn't there a cop bunny?
Officer Hops from Zootopia?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not like sexualized.
She's not sexual? Okay.
And she's voiced by Jennifer Goodwin, the rabid Zionist. I actually wrote a letter to Disney and said I'm not jacking off to Zootopia anymore. Until you remove her. Anyway, so Lola Bunny, Space Jam, she's this really hot bunny. I think that's where furries come from. But I'm just wondering do you think anybody like becomes a furry and then they find out about the butt plug thing and they're like, nah, I ain't with that. I ain't about that. Listen, I'm a man. I just came here to have sex with some women dressed like foxes while I'm dressed like a bear. And then there's a clip of John Marco doing crowd work, and he's doing crowd work with a furry. But the guy it's like, you don't wear your... Listen, I don't dress up as Captain Hook when I go to Dave and Buster's. The New York Jets are 1-7. They've won one game. They've lost 7 games. They've been bad for a long time. Last week I was like this. Can you believe it, by the way? Pre-podcast video, this is how Stavros would podcast. This is how he got famous. He would lay on the couch like this, and he wouldn't even like pull his shirt down. His belly would hang out and he would fart into the microphone. But it's just it's funny. You never know how good you have it, I guess. You never know how good you have it. Okay, so New York sports. This is awesome, by the way. This is the future of podcasting. We need to lay down. Laying down with Mike Recine. He doesn't even sit on the couch anymore. He just lays down. Bruh. All right. Let me take you back to like, I want to say it was 2000. It was either 2001. I want to say it was 2002. I decide that everybody likes football. Everybody I know likes football. I decide I'm going to get into football. I know I don't want to root for the Philadelphia Eagles. I live in like South, kind of central Jersey. All these Eagle fans are slobs. They're mean. They come into class with their Eagles jerseys and their like sweatpants that are like below their ass. And I said, if there's any person I don't want to be, it's that guy. There were a couple, but and then so most people in my town were Eagles fans. Most people in my town are Eagles fans. My brother and my older cousin Mike is a Jets fan. So I say, cool. All right, my brother loves the Jets. My cousin loves the Jets. I'm gonna be a Jets fan. Most New York sports fans, if you live here, most people are Giants fans, right? Most, like, I don't know what it is. I didn't know a lot of Giants fans. The Giants were kind of whatever. They were a little bit like, I don't know, there was something kind of like corny about their logo, the red and the blue and the white, like kiddish. Yeah. It's a little like low effort. Like, what is this? You guys don't even have a mascot. You could literally find a Peruvian woman. You could, if you wanted to, you could literally go to Serbia. If you really cared about your team, you could go to Serbia and you could find a giant. You could find a 7-foot tall man and you could shoot him with a tranquilizer gun and you could put him in a cage and you go, look, the face of the New York Giants. It's Nikola. It's Vlad the Giant. You're like, that guy's a basketball player. They didn't do that. Giants were boring. Jets were kind of interesting. Doug Heffernan from the King of Queens, he was a Jets fan. And then it was cool. Like, there weren't that many Jets fans. So if you met somebody else who was a Jets fan, you go, oh my God, you're a Jets fan. Like, it was rare that you'd meet another Jets fan. So when you meet one, you go, oh, that's so cool. And Jets fans are kind of like, they're sort of from all over. It's not all New York. Yeah. And I'm like, who's the, because I'm like, is Long Island Jets? But they both play in Jersey, so I don't know. I don't really know. But it's like they're like the other team. What I found out yesterday. Okay, so I'm gonna take you back. So 2002, I'm like, let me become a Jets fan. In 2002, in like the late 90s, early 2000s, Vinny Testaverde's the quarterback. Okay, but he's old. He's not doing very well. He's washed up. He's like, he's screwing up. He's throwing interceptions and everybody's like, we got to put in this backup guy, Chad Pennington. Everybody's saying we got to put in Chad Pennington. He's the backup quarterback. Chad Pennington comes out. They start Chad Pennington and he's like awesome. He's a great quarterback. He's like this young, like Southern guy. His name is Chad Pennington. Me as a self-hating Italian said, finally a white quarterback. Thank God for this corn-fed, clean-cut American white quarterback. He was like the most accurate. He's the most accurate thrower maybe in the NFL. Very accurate thrower. Thing with quarterbacks is there's power and there's accuracy. Okay. And then we had Curtis Martin, who was like one of the best running backs to ever play the game. We had Kevin Mawai, who was this big Samoan guy, the center on the offensive line, and we had and then we ended up getting a couple good wide receivers, Lavernius Cole, Santana Moss, stuff like that. Chad Pennington, though, although he's very good, he's very injury prone, so he gets injured a lot. He gets injured so many times that he ends up like not. They have to bench him, and then they ended up. He gets injured, but he never really like makes a recovery. So it was kind of like one of these sad stories. kind of one of these sad stories of like his career was ended by this like shoulder injury. He ended up going to the Miami Dolphins, but he never really like became what he could have been, which is a bummer. But to me, that was like my favorite Jets team. Mid 2000s, they end up like not being very good. They struggle. 2010, but I think they made it, but they were good in like the early 2000s. 2010 was the Rex Ryan era. They go back to the playoffs. They make it to the AFC Championship game, which is like the game right before the Super Bowl. I think they lose to the Colts. But anyway, there's like a new coach, and he's on videotaping his wife's feet. Okay, so him and his wife are like foot fetish people. And there's a video of like his wife putting her feet up in the car, and he's like filming her feet. I'm like, cool, relatable, awesome. This is my jam. So then Rex Ryan leaves the team. The Jets are bad again. They're bad for a long time. A couple years ago, okay, they get the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, Robert Saleh. Okay, he's Muslim. He's a cool coach. He's Lebanese. He's a Lebanese Muslim. He's got 10 kids. Soder was telling me that his fiance Katie Nolan, like his wife, like bumped her with her ass, and she was like, "Oh, that's why they have 10 kids, because she's got like a fat ass." So imagine like Lebanese guy, hijabi wife with a fat ass, you know, like big fat his. This is important. This is an important detail of sports. This is a very important detail of the team. They have a Muslim. they have a Muslim coach with a wife hiding a big donkey under her hijab. Okay, but so Robert Saleh ends up being a pretty good coach. There's a joke. A few people make a joke like, "Oh, imagine, isn't that funny? A Muslim." I can't remember who had this joke, but he says like, "Oh, a Muslim changing the trajectory of the Jets." A Muslim turn, as in like a 9/11 joke.
Is defensive coordinator the same as coach?
There's the offensive coordinator who does the offensive plays. There's a defensive coordinator who does all the defensive plays, and then there's the head coach.
Oh, okay, so he was the head coach of the Jets, but now he's been demoted to defensive coordinator of the 49ers.
I guess he's back, so I guess he got his old job back. And I might as well tell you why he got fired. Okay, so let me tell you Robert Saleh's story. Okay, he comes on. All right, nice. Jets got a new coach. He's Muslim. Then in I think it was 2 years ago, I think it was the 2023 season, okay, we get Aaron Rodgers, who is the best quarterback in the NFL. Now, he's 38. He's a little bit older, but it was like a big deal for the Jets. We're like, oh, we're finally going to be good again, okay? Aaron Rodgers is anti-vax. He played for the Green Bay Packers for a long time, but everybody's like really excited. We're like, we got Rodgers. This is great. Let's see what happens. They even put the Jets on this show called Hard Knocks, where every year they pick like an up and coming team to document, and they make a documentary about it. Okay, so it's 2023. I get Benny a Jets shirt, and I have a Jets shirt. An opening game, we take some pictures because I'm like, oh, me and my son are gonna watch football together, and that's kind of like a thing. Like my dad never really. I was never really into sports, but I never really got to watch football with my dad. My dad he's kind of like a Jets fan because me and my brothers were, but whatever. Me and Benny take pictures on the stoop opening day. We're in our Jets shirts. I think I was at a show that night, but they were playing Monday night. They were playing the opening game of Monday Night Football. Two teams play Monday Night Football every week, after Sunday. The Jets are playing the opening game. Aaron Rodgers it's the third play of the game, and he falls and tears his ACL. The field is really wet. He tears his ACL. I'm at my neighborhood bar. I'm watching the game, and But the Jets actually were doing pretty good. They did pretty well in that game. I'm at my neighborhood bar. I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's my wife and son behind me in their Jets shirts. And we're all at the bar watching the Jets game together, and they won. After Aaron Rodgers fell and tore his ACL, they ended up winning that game. Aaron Rodgers was out for the season. So he ended up so it's like everybody's so excited. We got Aaron Rodgers, and like he immediately falls, and that made me go like,
You think it was the pharmaceutical industry?
It might have been, yeah.
You said he was anti-vax, right?
Yeah. Or it might have been God punishing him
that,
for
right?
Yeah. That's a good point. I never thought about that. But I remember it was like great. I like watched this game with my son 2 years ago, so he must have been two and a half. And I have these photos of like us watching the game together, and it was like really cool, whatever. But now cut to so then yeah, 2023. That must have been 2023. That following October, Hamas launches an attack on Israel. Okay. Robert Saleh's Lebanese. Israel is bombing Gaza. Hezbollah, the Lebanese military group, the Lebanese militia, is firing rockets in solidarity with the people of Gaza. Hezbollah says, we will stop firing rockets when you stop carrying out your genocide against the people of Gaza. Israel's bombing Lebanon. They kill lots of civilians. They're bombing Beirut. I remember like seeing a picture of they killed this young mother and son. A lot of people are killed. Robert Saleh wears a Lebanese on his like whatever, his hoodie or whatever. He wears a patch that said I love Hezbollah, and they no but he just wore like a Lebanese flag. But you probably remember when they were bombing Lebanon, a lot of Lebanese people were being kind of vocal about, hey, they're bombing my country and whatever, solidarity. So Robert Saleh gets fired after he wears the Lebanese, just the flag of the country where he's from. He gets fired. He said nothing, just wore the patch. Now they wanted to claim like, oh, he wasn't being very good as a head coach, blah, blah, blah. Like there were other reasons, but it was interesting that it happened right after he decides to wear this flag patch on his arm. For me, that was like the final nail in the coffin. I said, I'm not supporting this fucking bullshit team anymore. I'm not doing it. I'll find another team to root for. The owner is this guy, Woody Johnson. I was reading about him yesterday. I picked up an AM New York. More like a Jew New York, if you catch my no, I think they're like a Zionist. Yeah. They're like kind of a Zionist free newspaper, whatever. Okay. Yeah, so after they fired Robert Saleh, I said I'm not supporting this team anymore, whatever. I don't care what happens. Now the Jets are 1-7. I don't even give a shit. I just, you know what I do? I Google Jets score on Sunday and I go, good, they lost again. Good, fuck them. Now the Jets are owned by a guy named Woody Johnson. Woody Johnson is the heir to the Johnson & Johnson fortune. And what I read yesterday in AM New York, that's my source, he purchased the team for like $635 million in the year 2000. The team is now worth, 20 years later, it's worth $6.9 billion. Okay. And Woody Johnson is like a terrible owner. He's not... It's an interesting relationship. There's a difference between like, oh, my team sucks, but I'm going to root for them. And this, people really need to divorce themselves from this idea of like the underdog. I mean, everybody likes an underdog, but it's like you have to know when you're being fucked and when you're being duped. And I don't know. I'm sure the Jets could be making a lot more money if they could win, but I don't maybe he doesn't care, or maybe because my brother who knows more about this stuff was like, as long as Woody Johnson is the owner of the New York Jets, we will never win. We'll never be good. And there was a report that came out recently that said Woody Johnson lets his teenage son sit in the meeting and make suggestions about the team because they play Madden. They play the video game Madden, and they know about the team's ratings.
I mean, now that you're saying that this is the Johnson & Johnson heir,
Mm-hmm.
and not even just heir, he was like the chief executive of the Johnson Company.
Was he?
Or whatever. Yeah, it says.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just like
the kid.
Yeah, I thought he was just like
the chairman
the
and
fuck-ass.
chief. He was the chairman and chief executive of the Johnson Company.
Okay,
which is the private.
but he didn't
investment firm.
But he was like given that probably, right?
No, I mean of course.
Yeah.
But like he's a huge billionaire or whatever.
Yeah.
But now that you're saying that this is the owner, it makes sense that the Lebanese guy was fired after October 7th.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. These guys are Zionists. The Johnson
Yeah.
and Johnson family.
Yeah. Because he stepped
That
out of
can't
line.
stand.
It can't.
You cannot have a guy. If Israel's bombing a country,
Mm-hmm.
you can't have that country's flag being represented on an American football team.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't work. But don't people get it that like he's from there? I don't know. Like,
Oh yeah,
why
like
can't they just let that
logically
slide?
it's dumb for
Yeah,
sure, but
yeah. But they're like, we're not going to tolerate this.
yeah, because you cannot humanize the Lebanese people while Israel's bombing them. So you can't have like a cool guy on TV every night or whatever.
Yeah, I guess if it's like the 40s, you can't wear your "I Love Stalin" T-shirt while you're coaching the all-white basketball team. While you're coaching the yeah. So there was an article yesterday in AM New York. This guy's saying Woody Johnson needs to sell the team. And yeah, he's a really bad owner. I was watching an interview with it. The Jets have sucked. The Jets have not been to the playoffs in 15 years. It's the longest playoff drought of any NFL team. The playoffs is so there's 3 rounds of playoffs before the Super Bowl. There's like 12 teams that go to the playoffs, or maybe more, but you're like and there's 3 rounds of playoffs and then there's a Super Bowl. So the Jets haven't made the playoffs since 2010. It's the longest playoff drought. So I was watching this interview. With Woody Johnson, and
This guy was Trump's ambassador
yeah,
to the UK. So he oversaw Brexit.
I guess. All right, so here's what I'm getting at. It's like this guy's a terrible owner. I was watching an interview with him. They go, what? Because the Jets are 1-7 this season. They go, what do you say to people who are like frustrated with the Jets record? Like, what do you say? What do you say with fans who are frustrated? He goes, hey, let me tell you something. If you're a real Jets fan, you don't ask a question like that, because they know what it's like. Real Jets fans have been in this a long time. In other words, like, if you're a real Jets fan, you have to eat shit. That's how I took that. Like, if you're a real Jets fan, you know what the deal is. You're a fucking loser, and I disappoint you, and I make your kids cry, and fuck you, and you need to eat shit. They literally might as well rename the New York Jets the New York Piss Drinkers, because nobody will, like, it doesn't matter. Like, Jets, like, is that just a foregone conclusion that Jets fans? But this is why I'm not a Jets fan anymore. This is why I had to be like, I'm leaving this team, because I'm like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to, like for a second it got me thinking, like, man, I had this great moment with my son and my wife where they came to the bar and we watched the game together. They let us like sit at the bar and watch the game. We watched the Jets win, and it was awesome because our old unvaccinated quarterback just ate shit. Our 45-year-old unvaccinated quarterback just died of and just tore his ACL. But it just makes you think, like, of all these people, you're the owner, you're making all these terrible decisions, and you're fine with it. You're okay. You don't mind that all these families have to suffer while you still own the team. I find that a little absurd. But the thing that I think bothers me the most about it is that the Jets are worth $6.9 billion. Like, who did that? Who put this money in the guy's pocket? You did. You did because you're a little piggy. You're a little piggy sports fan, and you don't know how to jump ship. Just jump ship. Get out of here. Why are you subjecting your family to this humiliation? Don't you think you deserve better? Say what you want about the Philadelphia Eagles. They literally, like, they'll throw batteries at their players if they're not like doing well. They're not, there's not like a they're not cucked like New York sports fans. It bugs me so much because we're just so cucked. It's almost like accepted that if you live in New York City, your team sucks and you deserve it. You're lucky that you get to go to the Knicks game and sit behind Chris DiStefano. And I think it speaks to like just what's happening in New York and how I don't feel like this is a great city anymore. And you lived here your whole life.
Yeah.
I don't know why I live here. It might be because I'm getting older and I'm having kids, but I don't enjoy it. But it just makes me feel like New York sports. I don't know how anybody could still be a Jets fan.
In 2020, the State Department investigated allegations made by current and former staff members that accused Johnson of making inappropriate comments about issues concerning race, personal appearance, and Black History Month.
Yeah, he also one of the quarterbacks there was a quarterback that got injured, and it was like a career-ending injury. Apparently, Woody Johnson was like, "Are you ever going to get healthy?"
And he made, quote, generalizations about black men and, quote, cringeworthy comments about women's looks.
Yeah, and it's just like, I wish people would wake the fuck up. Because that thing about if you're a Jets fan, hey, listen, you're not a real Jets fan. You're not a real Jets fan if you don't let me piss in your mouth. It just makes me upset, but it's not. When we think about how we're going to live our lives, okay, me and you, I think we have to be like, what I don't want to do is I don't want to complain about, I don't want to be a crybaby about the rich, right? I don't want to be like, oh no, the rich are stopping my football team from winning. I think the way is to be like, no, we need to stop being cucks, stop being little cucked Jets fans, and just pick a new team and just leave this ship, get off the ship. And then Deb made a good point. She was like, yeah, like, dads didn't spend enough time with their sons, so all they have to remember their dads by is like a shitty football team. And I wonder if that has something to do with it, because people need to stop with the loyalty. But there would be a difference if it was like, oh, my team is bad, but we got this coach, we got these players. Yeah, we caught some bad breaks. This guy got injured, whatever. But it's like, it's not that. It's this piece of shit who doesn't care about. He doesn't care about. He probably doesn't even like football.
No.
But it makes me feel like he doesn't want to win.
I'm on the Johnson & Johnson Wikipedia page.
Okay.
1982 Chicago Tylenol murders. 2010
Murders.
children's product recall. 2010 hip replacement recall.
Okay.
2010 Tylenol recall. Shareholders lawsuit. Illegal marketing of Risperdal, foreign bribery, consumer fraud settlements, patent infringement case against Abbott, vaginal mesh implants, baby powder.
What the fuck is that? Vaginal, that's all right.
Tens of thousands
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of women worldwide have taken legal action against Johnson & Johnson after suffering serious complications following a vaginal mesh implant procedure. Irreparable, debilitating pain after the devices began to erode into surrounding tissues and organs, causing infections and complications.
Why do you need vaginal mesh?
You probably don't. They probably marketed it pretending you did.
Hey, ladies, is your pussy too smooth? I'll be doing a show for the New York Comedy Festival on November 7th. That's going to be a lot of fun. We got a few tickets available. You can go to microcinecomedy.com and patreon.com/Recine time. And thank you for the support. And you guys are great. But yeah, I just think about the New York Jets. I'm scratching over the nose, by the way. Doing an over the nose scratch.
That's fine, but before you were picking your nose. Don't pretend you weren't.
and I will. I'm not going to deny that. And I won't do it around you. I won't do it again.
I don't care.
I know I
just
won't do
don't
it
want
again.
you to drop it on my kitchen counter.
But it is a bad habit. But I do want to let you know I haven't eaten a booger in like 20 years. I have not eaten a booger and I have a chip at home. 30-year non-booger eating chip. Anyway, so I'm just like, New York sports. New York should be. You think theoretically like New York is different and people don't. You'd think New Yorkers wouldn't put up with this, but we do put up with this. Love putting up with this, and we don't have the ability. Why don't we have the ability to go, I'm leaving, I'm out? Why do we stay in this abusive relationship being a New York sports fan? You gotta have some self-respect and you gotta pick a new team. I might even become a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I don't know. I never thought I would. I hated that team my entire life. But I'm thinking Eagles, or maybe even because my cousin, who was the Jets fan, shocker, he moved to Philly and now he's an Eagles fan. You got to be able to leave a situation that's bad. And like I said, it's not like, oh, we had some bad luck. It's this guy, this one guy who owns the team, hates you. He hates you and he sees you as a piss drinker. But why wouldn't he not? You've drank his piss. You've drank his piss for over 20 years. We haven't been in the playoffs in 15 years. Get out. Get out and find a hobby and hug your kids and just tell your son that he doesn't have to do this. You're not going to be around forever, okay? Tell your son that he can do something else with his life and like you make some other memories that isn't watching a team lose that's owned by a guy who hates you and thinks that you're supposed to be happy that the team is losing. Well, we're Jets fans. That is the number one red flag in a person in a relationship when someone is accepting of a bad situation, when someone isn't willing to get out of a bad situation. I've had like agents and managers be like, well, you can't do this because of XYZ. Don't listen to anybody who tells you no. Don't listen to anybody and just, get out. Make sure you're with someone who moves you forward. That's all I can say. Okay, how about this? It's Andrew Cuomo, and he's like doing an undercover boss type thing. It's like Undercover Cuomo. So they make him go undercover as like a campaign staffer, and then he dresses up like a girl, and he's like making calls for the campaign. Everyone's like, "No, you killed my grandma." And then like Chris Cuomo comes in and he's like, "Oh, who's that beautiful lady over there?" And he tries to, I guess this is not really fleshed out, but I will have some other ideas for you guys shortly. Deb and I watched Trump's 60 Minutes interview, a little bit of it. We watched about 13 minutes of it. I was extremely bored by it. I thought it was very flat. I thought it was very, the lady's like, "Oh, the government shut down." Trump is like, "Well, that's the Democrats." There was nothing funny about it. There's nothing uplifting. There was no, it was all just negativity and doom and gloom and low energy. And I said, this is so boring. I said, I feel bad for anybody who consumes this type of media. Because I go, what is your life like? Do you ever like listen to songs? Do you ever like read a poem? Or is your whole life the Democrats, the Democrats, the Democrats? That's like my grandmother when I talked to her on the phone. Can't we like have a laugh or something? Or yeah. So I don't know. It's a very boring world. Let's talk about an aspect of politics that's fun. Give me something fun about the world or about politics.
You were asking if that guy's wife was trans. That was fun.
Who, Sliwa? I'm just surprised that no one has transvestigated Nancy Sliwa. I'm really surprised by that.
This is, well, I guess I brought it up this time. But
Yeah.
this is the third time it's on our show.
Good. Let's go for 10. I mean, she's literally on TV being like, Curtis has a vision. Curtis has a vision for New York City. And I'm his wife. What would he even do if someone said, hey, is your wife trans? He'd start like short circuiting, I think.
Nah, I feel like he's good on his feet.
Mhm.
He's quick.
So one thing about politics that I thought was interesting was, politics doesn't have to be, the Democrats and the Republican. We don't have to. Politics doesn't have to be a boring reality show that you watch. They must have been so happy when Trump became on the scene because it's like something a little interesting, a little different. This kind of like, but Trump is like,
Well, mainstream media was dying and he really revived it.
yes.
Or he gave it like a last leg, I guess.
last
it's
leg.
still going to die, but
And I think the Republican Party too. Like, do you remember how dead everything felt? Nobody thought he was going to win in 2016, and I just everybody was. It seemed like the consensus was like, we got to figure something out, and then God made him president. Deb's cousin wrote a Facebook post last night, and he goes, all right, guys, I just want to share my thoughts on the mayoral race. And he's like, and you know what? No candidate is a vote for somebody else. Everybody has their, everybody should vote for who they want to vote for. He's like, Cuomo, dirty, like totalitarian, like sexual harasser, arrogant, like terrible guy. Mamdani, promising a bunch of free stuff, doesn't, young people don't understand how difficult these things are to implement, and he's just gonna bring socialism to the country. He's like, keep in mind, these are just my thoughts. he's like Sliwa, a true New Yorker, a true fighter for the people. Like, I know it's a long shot, but but I don't know, like maybe he can do it. But so I just like, I go, number one, like there's no chance. And then I was like, number two, why do you think you don't deserve stuff? What's interesting about politics should be something that we all participate in. It should be something that we can all, experience together and think about like our role in the world. Hey, I'm a podcaster. I provide commentary. I'm a video editor. I'm a garbage man. I'm a mailman. Hey, we're all working people, Let's think about working people and our role and what we do and how we make this, how we make society kind of run. But I did see that Maduro in Venezuela is handing out guns to the peasants. I mean, that's cool.
that's also kind of hardcore because it's like I know my people love me so much
Yeah.
that I can give them guns. I'm beloved.
Yeah. Imagine if Zoran went to Bushwick and started handing out guns. That'd be kind of cool. It's funny when you read about U.S. foreign policy, it's almost like the way that the U.S. acts on the world stage is kind of like nobody else acts like that in any other situation. Like if you like did business, if you went to a bakery and you were like, can I get a cookie? And they took your money and then like pulled your pants down and said, no cookie, get out of here. There'd be some kind of recourse. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to call the cops. And then you go, where's my cookie? And they go, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Why are you raising your voice?
Okay, we got a terrorist.
You got a terrorist over here. I don't think you're getting a cookie, pal. Not today. Yeah. But, foreign policy is just like, I don't think, if you look at the past 100 years or so, I don't think anybody, you underestimate America's evil and but not just their evil, their willingness to just like smile to your face and be like, and we're going to kill you. No, we're going to give cookies for everybody. You can make cookies. No, that's what they would say. They would say, you can make cookies. No, it's your country. You should operate the cookie shop. And you're like, oh, okay, because I'll still send you guys some free cookies. I'll still send you guys free cookies every once in a while because I like you. I like you guys. But I do want to have control of what kind of cookies that I make. And they go, yeah, of course. Of course. But to your face, they go, yeah, of course. Absolutely. And then you're dead a week later. And like I think most people have, or a lot of leaders have, I guess, tried to play ball and tried to be like, I'm only going to make chocolate chip and snickerdoodles. I'm not even going to try to make pinoli. I'm not even going to try to make pinoli. That's what you make. And then they still kill you, or they'll invade you, or whatever, or sanction you,
Or fund opposition groups in your country.
Yeah,
Like fund other bakers. Like
yeah, fund other. I know. I'm trying to. No, I'm saying
what's the metaphor?
there's no metaphor to be made because nobody acts like that in the real world.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's changing. I mean, I just think that like, if a population has guns, then you can't. It's harder to invade them, right? Like, I don't know. Like Guatemala, they were just able to oust this guy very easily, and because most people don't think that like they're gonna have to do that or get their hands dirty, but I think it's hard to like invade a country where everybody's armed and educated. So it's good that everybody. I think as I get older, I'm a little more pro gun, but I do kind of think that everybody should have guns. I think everybody should have the gun so that the U.S. can't like fuck around. I think other countries should have an arm because I think I heard that on a podcast one time. The guy was like, "Well, if the entire country has guns, it's harder to like take them over." Because I don't think the CIA is that powerful. I think they're just shameless. You know what I mean? All the shit that I just think they're like shameless and the rest of the world underestimates how evil they can be. Right. Yeah, when you think about like what it means to be a man, I like the idea of like getting killed defending your shitty country. It's like those are your two options. Like you can be your choices are be a Jets fan or be a farmer in Venezuela.
Right. Be in a country that has nothing to actually defend itself against, so you find like stuff to obsess over because as a man you're like looking to fill that like war hole in your life. That war hole,
right? Yeah. You need to fill the war hole. Now we just found the title of the episode. Filling the war hole. There we go.
With a furry butt plug.
Excellent. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you guys are putting stuff in your ass. No, I'm not trying to do any weird stuff. Oh, guys, I think I'm going to find a different hobby. I think I'll become a Civil War reenactor instead. Instead of this crapola. But I told you there was a guy who came to John Marco's show in like a furry costume, and he was like doing crowd work with him. But it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to do your sex stuff out in public. Where do they even like meet up?
The furries?
Yeah, in the
Should
woods.
we go to one and like?
Should we go undercover?
Should we have you like interviewing furries?
They're like, hey, what's this? The tail's clipped to your waist? What?
Are we gonna get into the furry convention, or is there some sort of screening? Like,
I would imagine there'd be a screening because everybody wants to go in and see what's up. Everybody wants to see what the deal is.
All right, Mike. There's a lot.
A lot of what?
Furry conventions. Like there are so many to choose from.
Okay.
I'm on furrycons.com.
Furry what?
I'm on furrycons. I said
okay.
I'm on furrycons.com.
Okay.
So the next one that's coming up is Aquatifur.
Okay.
That's in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Let me see if there's something closer. Taiwan, Belgium, North Carolina, Japan, San Jose, Poland, Slovenia, Illinois. I guess we could go to the one in Illinois.
Yeah. Okay, I saw a movie this week. Okay, let's do this. I won't tell you the movie that I saw, but I will espouse some thoughts on movies in general. Yeah, but I'm not going to say if it's an old movie or a new movie. I'm just going to say this. The twist endings and stuff. I think that needs to go. Yeah. I don't want to do this. I don't want. It's not worth it. The movie was really good, and then they hit you with this thing. They hit you with the twist ending. So there's this movie that I saw. There's a twist ending that involves aliens. It doesn't matter if you figure out what movie that is. Go see the movie. The movie's really good. But there's a twist ending. It involves aliens. Now here's my first thing. Aliens in the movie. Nobody makes aliens in the movies anymore. I remember seeing Arrival. They never show the aliens in that. And then they didn't. The aliens in this one were like, they had human faces. So it was like they had alien bodies but human faces. I'm like, no, make the alien. You can do whatever you want, any type of alien. So that happened. But I don't want to do this. Like, I feel like a lot of horror movies do this, where it's like there has to be some kind of twist ending. There has to be the thing you have to be tricked, you know. I've seen a lot of movies lately that have some kind of twist ending. Some of it, sometimes it's good, but then sometimes I'm just like, why did you do that? You had a good movie, and now what? You think I'm stupid that I'm going to be like, what? Like, you got my nose? So we just did a 2-hour. So instead of you telling me an interesting, compelling story, we just played a 2-hour game of Got Your Nose. I'm not playing. I'm not subscribing to those rules. I'm not playing Got Your Nose with you. I was not surprised by your little twist ending. Your little surprise ending. And actually the surprise ending makes it not as good of a movie because you did all this shit. You know? It's like, why would you write, I'm trying to think of a good story. Like, why would you write, War and Peace or something? And then you're like, and then she had a dick the whole time. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, by the way, what's like a famous story? I don't know. Beauty and the Beast? Yeah. Oh, by the way, the Beast was purple. Oh, by the way, Princess Jasmine was a man. Ha, got you. Look at her dick, stupid. You probably thought she was a woman. You're so stupid. Why are you It's like you're being bullied. I hate that. That's the worst thing. When people do like a bit and they're just lying to you. You believed me. There was a guy a couple years ago. He did this bit on Facebook where he was like, guys, I'm a flat earther now. He was like pretending he was a flat earther. He was like, I'm a flat earther now, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, no, this is not a bit. But my thing is, like, if someone asks you if it's a bit twice,
it's like a cop. If you ask a cop,
they have to tell you. Right. Yes, if you're buying child pornography from a guy, okay, if you're just an innocent, regular, run-of-the-mill purchaser of child pornography, and you say, "Are you a cop?" The guy says, "No," and you go, "All right, how much was it? How much is it? $37? Wow." Obama's America, am I right? Oh my God, there really is an affordability crisis. Bidenomics. Man, I can't wait to go vote for Zoran because the price of child pornography is out of control. You're sure you're not a cop, right? No, I'm not. Okay. All right. Here's the money and give me and then they put you in handcuffs? No. Not on my watch. Not going to happen. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing when you go, hey, by the way, they're aliens. And I'm not shitting on this movie because I really liked it. But if you haven't figured out what it is yet, go see the movie.
If they haven't figured it out, they can't because they don't know where to go.
Well, figure it out and then go see it. But you'll know what it is. I mean, I don't really care. It's not a big. So it's about a guy who's he's like crazy. And he's like a conspiracy theorist. And he's like, you're an alien, you're an alien, you're an alien. And you go like, oh no, this guy's just like going through like a psychotic thing. He's going through like a psychotic break. He's convinced that he's right, but the audience goes like, oh, he's crazy. And then at the end, oh no, they are aliens, and he knows so much about their species and everything, and he like. So wait a minute, isn't it more a compelling story to have the guy who thinks that if I thought you were an alien, can't you do more with that than like, oh, she is an alien? Isn't it a more interesting story to look at the guy who thinks everyone's an alien and examine like how he got there? He's like a poor person whose family was kind of fucked over. Yeah, I guess I just feel like what do you want me to do with that information? That's why I didn't want to like get upset and be like, this is. I just thought it just kind of made it. It's like it was an amazing movie, and then the end of it made me go like, really? And and I was like, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Maybe too much was going on that I didn't kind of grasp what they were trying to say at the end. I don't know why they picked that ending, but.
And I will say, generally
But there's
speaking, I
enough-
hate the caricature of the crazy, wrong conspiracy theorist.
Me too. Me too.
Because I think that's kind of like, it's like, fuck you.
Lazy. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like ruling class fuck you to us. It's like, look at these crazy people. They think we're up to stuff.
Look at
Can
these
you believe this?
Yeah.
They have the gall to think we're up to stuff.
You think that's my favorite. You think the government is competent? You think the government is competent? You think the government could have an alien? You think the government could have an alien put its what would Bill Maher be talking about? You think the government is getting you to put a tail in your butt? I mean, come on, people. Come on. Guys, please subscribe to the Patreon. We did a really, really funny bit involving opera. It had everything that you love about Mike Recine. It had opera. It had politics. It had singing. And it had Italian stuff. And that's all I can say. That's all I can tease. But please go subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/RacineTime. We thank you so much for your support. Thanks for letting us make you laugh. Dick Cheney's dead.
Do you think the streets of Iraq are celebrating today?
I'm kind of embarrassed to say this and this is why I'm sort of hesitant to talk about global politics and stuff. I just didn't. It's like I know the Iraq War was bad, but I don't really understand it, and I haven't seen. It's like you can read about it, but I was looking at the Fox News post, and it was like Dick Cheney's dead. I was looking at the comments. And most people were like, I didn't agree with this guy. Most people were like, some people said it's good. Yeah. But then some people were like, I didn't agree with him, but it hurts to lose a loved one, and RIP. And so that kind of like, that made me a little nuts. And then I did see another comment that was like, he sent a lot of my brothers in arms to Iraq. And I was like, I wish more people would talk about this. And I did see a tweet from a guy that was like, we thought we were doing something good over there, but we weren't. And I think you have to tell them that they're doing something. You got to tell them something to get people to. It's like, how are they going to sell a Venezuela war if we go to war with Venezuela? What are they going to say?
Well, they tried to sell the coup by saying like, oh, he's starving his people. And like, you have to like really seek out information to find out that like, oh, actually it's our sanctions starving them. But
right.
Like, you would have to like really want to learn that. That's not going to come to you on
But the
CNN
average
or
American
Fox.
thinks like, oh yeah, but everybody starves. People starve except me. The average American is like, everybody should starve, but if my DoorDash order is late, I'm gonna publicly shame the driver. Yeah. It's like starving, and it's like I feel that way. I feel that, and we're gonna talk about Sudan, I think, next week. But it's like I feel that way about Africa. I just think Africa's fucked up, and I think a lot of Americans probably feel that way.
Yeah, but
too.
that's kind of downstream of some propaganda.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
People just think like, oh, it's a mess over there. It's all corrupt. Oh yeah, all the leaders are bad over there. That's kind of like the extent of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that is also unfortunately downstream of empire.
All right, we're reading some of your comments on the show.
Okay, these are from Patreon. Hi, Mike. I hope you won't bow out of this horrible, disgusting industry you've been working in your whole life. But if you did, I think you'd be a great history teacher. It's clearly something you're interested in. You are already an engaging / entertaining communicator. Okay, I'll skip the glazing. Blah, 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 blah.
No,
blah,
glaze.
Blah, blah. And I think the level of anger you carry towards certain systems in our world would appeal to youth who are trying to find some honesty in a world of lies.
Yeah, but what I have to like get a degree to be a history teacher, right? I can tutor your kids. I'll tutor your kids if you want me to. I cannot go back to. I'm not going back to college. Maybe I'll be one of those like old guys that goes. Maybe I'll be like an old guy that goes back to college, and I'll go to some frat parties, and I'll sell drugs at the frat parties. I'll sell my pills, my old man pills.
Please discuss the recent rise of the BYND meme stock.
I sold my Beyond Meat stock, but I guess they're trying to memify the Beyond Meat stock. And stupid me, I sold mine. I didn't think it was ever coming back. Let's talk about 2 feel-good stories, okay? Because everybody knows Mike Racine's a feminist. Mike Racine loves and respects women. 2 stories I read this weekend. One was Kate Middleton. Prince Andrew's been kicked out of Buckingham Palace and stripped of his titles. So he's not a prince anymore. He's out of the palace, and he has to go live upstate somewhere. He has to go, so enjoy your life, Prince Andrew. Enjoy wearing a baseball hat to the grocery store from now on. Enjoy having everything paid for, not needing a job, and not having to worry about money, and also being slightly embarrassed for the next 3 years. Enjoy playing PlayStation. Enjoy your PS5, pal. That's what I would do if I was him. I guess it's like being retired. The other story I read was that Hooters is, hey, like we said, times are changing. Zoran's going to be mayor. Hooters is embracing modesty. Hooters is embracing modesty, and they're lengthening the shorts on the waitresses, which is what they did originally. It was like and I think in 2021 they changed the Hooters uniform and they made it like more like underwear. And a new guy is coming in. I wonder if he's Muslim. It makes you think. I hope he is. Islam is taking over the West, and we're starting with making the shorts at Hooters 2 inches longer. But what I think is interesting is so Kate Middleton was the one who had a role in kicking Prince Andrew out of the palace. And then whoever the new guy that took over Hooters was like, let's make the shorts 2 inches longer, because people were complaining about they changed the shorts in 2021 to make them more like underwear, but now they're like 2 inches longer. Now both those things are kind of like there's something. They're a step in the right direction, you know? Yeah, if you're a waitress at a restaurant, you don't need to be degraded that much. Just wear the bike shorts. We don't need to humiliate these women. They're already working in the service industry. And then it's like, if you live in a palace and a pedophile lives there, you're allowed to kick him out of the palace. So I just think both these stories are like somebody kind of taking a step in the right direction and saying like, we're gonna make a change. We're gonna move forward a little bit. We're going to, it's like somebody has to tell the pedophile uncle that he's not invited to Thanksgiving. And she did it. And that interview that he gave with BBC was like years ago, that embarrassing interview. So it must have took them a while, or they were just putting it off or whatever. It's like, I don't know, maybe it was on their to-do list and then they never got around to it. Because sometimes when you tell your husband to do something, it takes him a while. And your husband goes like, oh boy, yes, sometimes when you have something that you need to do, it sits in the back of your mind for a little bit. And then after a few months, your wife is like, you know what? I'm going to do it. Give me your phone. I was going to do it. She's like, no, it's too late. And now no more pedophile at the palace. So I think that's good. I think we all have to make little changes where we can. I saw a post recently that was like, hey, if you're one of these celebrities that supports Gaza and doesn't support the resistance, we should call that out. And the examples that they used were like Cenk from Young Turks, Bassem Youssef, and Ms. Rachel. Because they want Ms. Rachel to be like, I support the resistance. Listen, Not everything is your fight. Figure out what's your fight. Figure out which battles you want to pick, and do that. Ms. Rachel's doing enough. Leave her alone, okay? I'm sure in all of her group chats she's saying glory to the martyrs and everything, and she's probably sharing red triangle videos. Hi friends, watch this video of a Hamas sniper. Look at the Al-Qassam sniper. Isn't that cool? Yeah, right. Let's relax. Let's chill. And let's hope that everybody's fighting their fight where they're fighting it. And no, you don't have to overfight. Just do your thing. Do your best. All right. I think that's it for this week. We will see you guys next week, or we'll see you on Patreon, patreon.com/RacineTime. And take care.